All right, hey folks, I think we're back. I'm not sure the timer. I wasn't actually sure if that worked or bugged out, but we are waiting on stats currently. I'm gonna go poke him on Skype actually, just before we get into too much downtime talk.
He's here.
Oh, okay.
Good timing. So yeah, get the videos ready.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Zongrab's gonna be handling the vetoes. Real quick, again, if you guys haven't seen, this is of course a prize pool that is, excuse me, primarily featured and focused thanks to the sponsorship with Twitch. Without them, we wouldn't be able to make this happen. So, big thanks to Twitch. We've got 2 year-long running events with them, and we have a third big thing. Lots of little events here and there with the Dong Wars and you name it. But yeah, they've been supporting the BTSL for a while. You know, we had the Make Korea Great Again tournament that turned into the BTSL, which was awesome. And I'm really glad that they're helping not just put up a prize pool, but a pretty sizable prize pool. And they were very open to us working with Matcherino as well. So Matcherino helped pump up the prize pool even further. And it's like $1,100 every month that are going out to players through basic prize pool. So if you guys want to help us raise that prize pool a little bit, this one is a month-long conglomerate. So this is actually not like a week-to-week prize pool like we've done in the previous instances. But that's because we have changed the format here for the quote-unquote off-season. As June's a pretty rough month for us in terms of like free time for casting. It's helped us immensely just be able to set up like 2 days of groups and 1 playoffs. But yeah, so Zombie Grub, Korea, and all that. What's been? You've been there for what, a week now? Well,
10 days. 10 days.
almost 2 weeks. Okay, so highs and lows. What's the best and worst thing that's happened so far?
That's a good question. I've heard, like, as far as like worse things, they've been less worse than they were last time I was here.
Oh, with the
Does that make
creepy hit on you guy or whatever.
No, that guy wasn't that creepy.
Oh.
Wait, which guy? Like last year?
Oh, last year. I think you meant last time. Like last time you were on the cast.
Oh no. Like last year.
Okay.
No, like I think it's like the pains of traveling at all is always the worst part. So like for instance, the speakers didn't work that I brought, and we almost like burned the whatever the thing is called that's on the speakers, so, like the battery that's in there, trans something. Anyways, it like got really hot, and that's okay. So I'm gonna send that back home with my mom, actually, which is nice having her here. I can just pile on things that I didn't need. And then just like walking, getting lost, and not having all the essentials in the place. But having an Airbnb this time makes it a lot easier, because like a lot of things are already given to me. And the Airbnb host is really nice. Like he met me initially and was like, here, I have like gifts for you, and they got me like ramen and stuff.
Aw.
Yeah, and that was nice. And then he was like, okay, I'll check up with you again on Tuesday, like a couple days ago. And he brought me more stuff. He brought me like trash bags and more ramen and rice and seaweed and stuff. And he's just a very nice guy. So that helps. Yeah. And I actually kind of like, the one bad thing so far, I think, is just that I've actually been having too much fun, I guess. It's like the bad thing.
How is that?
Like, I know. Like, how's that a bad thing, right?
First
like last year when I
at
came
its
here.
finest.
Yeah, last year when I came here, we had to like travel to Busan, and then I had to travel back and get situated, and there was a lot of casting. I remember that I had to do in European times. It was just like I didn't have time to do anything. So it's like the opposite spectrum of what's happening now, which is like, we're not, casting too bad, and it's like nice times for me now. So I get to like go out and do stuff, but I don't want to. Like some point I want to come back home and like actually like practice and cast and stuff.
I was gonna say the trade-off is, well, you might be enjoying your time and like it's more freeing, and then you have to also travel back to Toronto for a week in the middle.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, to be honest. Like I was looking and I was like, God, the flight probably upgrade to like premium.
Yo, if you can afford it, fuck. It's totally gonna be worth it though, man. Like, I think Toronto's really. I'm super excited for it. It's like a week away at this point. Next week on Friday, I think, is when it starts up. So North by Northeast.
No, I'm excited for it, and by upgrade I mean, of course, like to the like premium economy thing, right? Like.
I know. I hear upgrade and I immediately think of how expensive that flight was. Because for those who don't know, like Zamgrab and I when we went to Korea last year, we said, fuck it, let's spoil ourselves. Let's take a month of salary or whatever for BaseTradeTV and like add that on to the cost of the flight and go from like $1,000 plane ticket to like a fucking $3,000 plane ticket. But man, it was so nice. It wasn't even first class. There was actually a class above where we went, and the one we went in was so fucking nice.
Yeah, the first class is so useless, I feel like.
Yeah,
Okay, like you
at
get
least
your
what we
own
saw.
little thing, but it just didn't seem worth like, cause like the first class is like so much more expensive. Is
It's
that
like,
really
like
worth?
$10,000. Yeah.
Is it really worth? And well, for people who don't care about it, of course it's worth. So, more power to them.
Let me just make a quick tweet as we get into this game because it is Scarlet versus Stats. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 in the preliminaries of this group. Winner will go on to fight against Gumiho. The loser will go on to fight against Patience. And spawning here in the top left, it is, of course, going to be one of the BaseTradeTV house members herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Scarlet.
Ooh.
Oh, no, she's been playing with Jake.
In the bottom right, as the yellow Protoss for Splice, it's Stats.
You know, I actually got I got suckered into the whole G Fuel thing, which is actually not bad. I actually rather enjoy it, but I bought one of their little mixer things and I got the Splice one. But the thing was, I got it like the day after they announced their partnership with Mountain Dew. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, am I supposed to put G Fuel in you or Mountain Dew?
I was like,
I don't know.
Wait, isn't that the same? I mean, I guess it's not the same it's not the same idea at all. Even though Mountain Dew also has Kickstarter, but that just seems really weird to me. It's like, actually, I don't know what it's like. They seem so eerily similar. Okay, like high energy drinks. And
I don't think
soda.
Mountain Dew advertises itself as an energy drink.
Well, that's why I said it has like. That's why like it isn't, but it has Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is supposed to be their energy drink.
Yo, what if? Oh my God, what if? I think I figured this out. The mega concoction, right? Instead of using water to mix the G Fuel, you use Mountain Dew.
It's so gross.
I'm 100% sure your
Can you
teeth would
try that?
rot out of your mouth.
Can you see if your teeth rot or your heart bursts first? Like
You know what I should do? Okay, the thing's kind of like semi-transparent, right? I should stick a flashlight in the bottom and just like as soon as I pour in the Mountain Dew, turn the flashlight on so it makes the whole cup like globe.
God, you do that like a donation goal. See if you can kill Rifkin.
No, that'd be too much.
Jesus.
G Fuel does have no sugar in it though, so I actually don't know how that would work. But anyways, Stats going for the Stargate, and Stats, of course, one of the most renowned Protoss players. GSL champion is no small task, but he's also one of the most adept Protoss players, and I mean this in both the punny sense and the literal sense. So, Scarlet, you know, she takes the gold, and she's gonna shake things up a little bit here on Blood Boil, but for the most part, she's gonna be dealing with all the same problems that would otherwise present themselves in a player like Stats.
Super excited. She started burrowing and immediately canceled it. It's fine.
I know, I saw that too, and I was like, ah. Actually, I got
Whatever.
spoiled while you were gone. Nurchio did like these 1-1 Hydra drops versus Showtime, and I like Nurchio has like a bad loss record versus Showtime, right? But he kicked Showtime's ass in the Corsair Cup season finals, and I really like the Hydra drop so much that I'm like, now I want every Protoss player to do it.
Well, wait a minute. Did she cancel the sport crawler? She has no sport crawlers. There's an Oracle on the way.
I'm wondering
Okay.
if.
That actually might have been against the Adept, I suppose.
I was
Like now
thinking that
she
might have
sees
been more of a
things.
build cancel, yeah.
Yeah, well, there is an Oracle on the way, which is kind of the sucky part, though. Like, she hasn't said anything in Stats' base. But yeah, the whole, like, also just, we know that Stats is pretty good against Scarlet. Oh, I mean, she, like, 2-1'd, right?
Actually,
in GSO.
Scarlet has really weird wins versus Stats, though. Like, when she beats Stats, sometimes it's, like, embarrassing and bad, right? The 147 victory, I'll never forget. Like, record-setting type stuff, but...
Oh. I was like, 147 supply, that's oddly specific.
No, 147 on that clock, on that timer,
Yeah.
on that pylon
Yeah.
dying to the early pool.
As far as I know, the last time they played offline, though, is, well, definitely offline, of course, the GSL, but even online. Off of ladder, of course. But, yeah, Stats did not have a great day yesterday. So maybe he's just, maybe he actually feels okay, but I don't know. I think he's just the fact that you've beaten someone before probably puts you in a good mood.
Wait, I'm having
and you
a
have
brain
adepts.
fart. What happened yesterday?
Well, I guess like spoiler. But then you lose against Classic yesterday? Or am I like confusing?
I don't know.
Who else against Classic? Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I like literally don't know. That's what I was asking.
yeah. I was just, yeah. I'm so tired. But yeah, he lost against Classic in the GSL yesterday.
Okay.
So, harsh, but you know, it happened.
Harsh,
different
but
matchup.
fair.
Different matchup, sure, but he didn't even look. It was weird. I guess like for the sake of not spoiling it anymore, in case people like actually.
Oh,
watch the
this
games,
was such
I
a
guess.
6 stasis trap. Pulling was actually so smart.
Decent,
Like,
yeah.
it's still pretty decent, yeah, but like that stasis trap would have caught so many drones from Scarlet. Yikes.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good. Well, anyways, the hullabaloo and all that aside, the gold base was just, you know, no risk there. It's chugging along.
Well,
It's gonna mine out quickly, sure, but he's already on to the 4th base.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Blood Boil has this weird base in your back, your quote-unquote natural, where it's got like the extra 2 mineral patches, so it's got a lot of extra worker saturation. It's funny because to me that's like the opposite of a gold base, right? Gold base requires less workers for more efficiency, and there's actually more gold patches at this gold base than most average gold bases.
Wasn't there like a oh, it's actually maybe too obscure. Oh, well, what is gonna go down?
Ooh.
Yep, there it goes.
Nice catch.
Wordy like tweeted something.
Odyssey,
like the
Odyssey.
assist challengers. Oh, Odyssey. Interesting. Okay, well, that's all I know.
Experimental
Tweeted
minerals,
something.
Zombie Grub. Blizzard shaking it up.
Yeah, great
Good
stuff.
bait. Really good bait on the trap.
Yeah, that was decent. That was well, Charge isn't quite done, so I'm surprised that Stats is like taking the fight outside. I mean, obviously he hoped the Stasis Trap would do more, but even then, just letting himself stay there was a little bit odd.
Even if he had charged done though, still taking the fight in a concave that favors Scarlet. Cannon's coming down a little bit late. Pylon's getting picked off. I mean, he's buying as much time as he can, right? He's got a couple of force fields, but obviously you don't want to use force fields. You want to use the garden shields.
Yeah. I mean, this time buying maneuver with the minerals that he stacked up too, because he didn't quite have enough gateways. It's definitely the smart play, but will it be enough? This is quite the bust.
This is a problem. There's nothing.
Drones.
There's literally nothing to reach over the force fields. There's nothing that's gonna take out those banelings. These charge lots are gonna get wiped.
Oh, you mean in that way? Yeah, I think that actually is like super good. The force fields, creating like chokes too if there were enough charge lots.
Game.
So this is it's game. Making it look easy.
G Scarlet, looking good, looking damn good. Takes that first map in this best of 3.
Maybe we'll just get nothing but 2 zeros and awkwardly have like 3 hours for the show match.
Yeah, well, no, I hope not. I'm hoping that if we can just start the show match earlier if necessary. But I give it a generous 4 hours to be safe. I think the players probably wouldn't mind playing earlier if we absolutely had to.
Yeah. Although Byan seems to do whatever.
Can someone explain to me Scarlett's situation? She's on Team Expert, but she's also living in the BaseTradeTV house. Isn't the BaseTradeTV house a team house? No. So I think it's been commonly misreferred to as a team house because that's all the houses in Korea are. There's never really been like a mercenary house. Well, I guess there's Gom house back in the day or whatever. I don't know much of details about that, but yeah, there's like, you consider a house like a mercenary house, if you will. It's a foreigner training house is what we've always called it internally and even externally referred to a couple times. But the 2 members of BaseTradeTV, or Team Looking for Team, BaseTradeTV's team, are Buell and Major. Major does live in the house. Everyone else staying there is just there to practice. They're paying their own rent. We're providing a place to stay, and it helps people go to Korea.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to finish up, and it doesn't even apply to like the foreigners you guys typically expect. Don't forget, there's Chinese players. I think Neeb's getting there, or he's already there, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's what Scarlett mentioned before the vetoes are done, is that apparently Neeb is here.
Nice.
Today, yesterday, something like that. It was very recently, I guess, he got here, and I think he's staying for quite a while. Of course, going to try and participate in at least the GSL qualifiers, but I think the SSL qualifiers are also coming up too, so it'd be cool if they could do both.
Neeb's like, the last time I was here, I only killed 1 league. Now I need to kill 2.
Yeah, and if only could play in VSL too. Get all of them.
I'm a little salty about VSL, actually. I don't mind that they're not providing an English stream or that we're not involved, but what I do mind is that their communication with it was awful. Letting us know literally 2 hours before the first broadcast went live. By the way, guys, we're not having any other community casters. It was kind of poor, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. Just to be like, hey, oh yeah, you guys exist. Like, No.
Yeah, don't get me
Sorry.
wrong. Like, if they open it up to community casters, us, you, me, Maynard, Zeph, whoever, like, I'd jump on that again. I really enjoy the tournament. It's just really unfortunate because I thought we had a good working rapport with them. But I was apparently missing. I thought I saw feelings there when she was sending me mixed signals, right? Anyways, we're in game number 2. Top left side of the map here for the BTSL Season 5. It's going to be the yellow Protoss stats. Down 1 in the series.
And the bottom right's making it look easy. She's the pink Zerg, Scarlett.
I mean, there's a little bit to be said about Hydras and their strength right now. I think we're really, deep into the patch to the point, or at least the Hydra patch, rather, not the most recent patch. But the 10 health buff on the Hydras, to say that it is looking a lot better in the matchup, and it's not as blatantly, disgustingly one-sided as it was before. But man, sometimes Hydras look too good. And that last game, I don't feel like it was a consequence of Hydras, but it didn't help. That those were like wrecking force behind Scarlet's army.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It didn't help. I think, the fact that Scarlet got away with, like, officially, right? Like, got away with a gold base. There wasn't any aggression in the early game, which is most cases, because, what can stats do? It just scouts and goes like, okay, I guess you got it. And then you try and kill whatever you can with the Stargate, but he really didn't get a lot with the Oracle either. Unnecessary Void Order was made. And then on top of that, like, kind of, not that his opener was weak, but that she just had a strong opener. The attack outside of his own gateways. Like, I guess his thought process was probably trying to kill it before it got too strong. He was like, oh, snap, there's no banelings. Or like, oh, there's only like 10 Hydras instead of 20. And I'm going to try and like nip this in the bud, but maybe not estimating the gold base, as well as he should have. And not realizing there's like 5 extra Hydras or something along those lines. Or just actually misreading the situation. I mean, Sad's a pretty good pro gamer. He's like, all right, I guess. But that can definitely happen. And, I mean, of course, who knows? Like, even if he had defended it behind his gateways, he might have still lost, of course. But I still thought that was a bit of a risky move for him to do and definitely helped snowball.
I hadn't considered it till just this moment where you're describing things, but stats might actually not be favored to get out of this group, all things considered. A, he is a small weakness to Scarlet, certainly. But then B, Gumiho's TVP, like, regardless how good stats is, Gumiho's TVP is out of this world. So I feel like Stats doesn't actually have the best chance getting out of this. As much as I love and respect and admire Stats, just thinking on it, hell, even Patience's PvP is pretty good.
Patience does a pretty good PvP, yeah. Yeah, it's weird to say that because Stats, like I think in the more high-profile games, does very well. Obviously, GSL winner, got pretty far in this season's GSL by including by beating Scarlet. But yeah, she just can like get him in the online games. Well, Adepts still being annoying. These are the ones that already had shit in the main base. The fact they're still alive is impressive. Get 3 drones. I mean, he did open up with double gateway, so ideally they did something. And they did something. Again, 3 drones, a handful of lings produced is not a terrible way to open up. And she's yet again not going to go for any support crawlers. She didn't really need them. I mean, the queens were in position. They dealt with the oracles and phoenixes. I don't think there were any phoenixes. Dealt with the oracle enough.
Yeah, so this actually was a little bit what I thought was interesting timing-wise for Scarlet. The queens will fend off that first oracle, but let's say there was more. Let's say this was even like as far as to go goblin levels of cheesy. She actually gets the hydras out so quickly that if there were more oracles on the way, she would actually have the anti. Whoa! It's a really quick lurker den.
Interesting. Well, okay. Okay. You don't see lurkers too much anymore.
Well,
I
take issue with this actually. I really like the idea of lurkers, but by going for it this quickly, this also pushes off the muscular augments.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like kind of almost cheesing. Not quite the right word, but like almost cheesing her way to lurkers. Which I think is actually like could be like a really cool idea. Stats is playing kind of conservative. Like he got his gateways for his Nexus, for instance, and his Nexus was like 5 o'clock, 5 minutes instead of like 4:30, something like that. But
check Stats' vision and look at that Hydra den or the lurker den. It's like the wrong way. It's pointing a completely different direction.
That is super weird.
How does that happen?
I mean, it does like morph, right? And maybe we just like it's that one frame where it does something super weird.
It's like when you pause in Aladdin in a movement and his like face is all stretched out and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking of. But anyways, like going back to what Stats is doing. I mean, Stats, if he's prepping for another Hydra bust, maybe he was trying to chrono out Charge again, but he's actually not. So there's still no double Robo, which is going to be obviously very powerful against Lurkers, but there is Disruptor tech on the way.
Right, and so that's the big question that gets begged here. Is he looking to go straight to Disruptors, or is he going to go for Immortals? I think the double Robo is definitely the solution either way. But for those who don't know, there's like... We get to witness this weird standoff back in the day. And 2 Disruptors, like you can actually kill the Lurkers, but the economy of the Zerg player kind of has like the cooldown of the Disruptor be less effective than losing the Lurkers to them one at a time. As funny as that is to sound. So I really like the idea of Immortals. They get to constantly attack, and they're always good. But yo, Force Fields might keep the Lurkers back. Barely with that 13 range. They actually reach some of these units, but the Ling's going to full surround, and they actually pick apart Stats' army. No Lurkers necessary!
I was gonna say, like, okay, well, I guess the Lurkers didn't even count. They didn't even matter. These are unupgraded Lings against +1 army, but it was a Stalkers and a very low count of Stalkers at that.
There's also a positioning thing. Like, for Stats, 100%, he thought he only had to fight one side. That's why he came this far away from the pylons. He thought the Force Fields would be more than enough. But now the Lurkers get to kind of siege away. Again, it's not, I think I said 13. It's like 9 range, right? Yeah, 9 range. I was thinking Colossus.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a little bit too far. That's like tanks too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, but yeah, I think you're right. Like, he moved out, thinking he only had to attack one army, gets surprised by another right before Blink was done, too, so he can't even save the few units that he had. And this actually already looking so bad. The Lings killed the 3rd base, so this is going on. I mean, Scarlet might have cheesed, right? Like, still only on 42 drones and, like, without any tech on her Hydras or any upgrades, but it absolutely works.
I mean, there's stuff to be said here, too. With what Scarlet's doing, if Stats was actually doing like some sort of proxy or... Oh my god, that depowers both the Robos. That's game.
I mean, it's so good.
It's already game, yeah, I know. But like, this confirms it, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, if Stats was playing like really aggressive with gateways and he was doing Warp Prism drops and things like this, I don't think she actually gets away with these Lurkers at all. So, I know cheese is maybe not the right word to describe this, but it is like cheesy, cheese lights, something like that.
Yeah. Again, cheese is like a hard word to describe as always, but it was a very aggressive move that isn't seen too often. There you go.
I don't remember the last time I saw Lurkers outside of Bly.
I feel like we saw someone try and go for a fast Lurker, and we were like, well, this doesn't, make much sense because Lurkers aren't as good as they used to be. I remember like talking about that specifically, and then they got like Adept all in or something, so it didn't matter.
Well, that concludes both of the preliminary games for the group. A little bit quicker than I would have hoped, but hey, what are you going to do about it? We're going to be starting off with the losers match next. So, I know a lot of people typically go the other way. Losers match. So it's going to be Patience versus Stats, that PvP we had referenced. This will be really interesting. Stats is good at PvP as well. Like, I don't want to take anything away from him here, but Patience, while he has faltered in the other matchups, I think has consistently had impressive PvP over the years. So I'm expecting a lot more from Patience out of this one, and I think Stats going down out of the group would be an absolute upset for sure. But it's a Korean group full of really good players, so I mean, anything's really an upset depending how you want to take your point of view on it. Before we go to commercial break, though, I know we got Nexikuro, but we had Dankling, Finks Gaming, Hazard Course, Optional Player, and a bunch of other people resub. If we missed you, I'm sorry, but I'm, if it's not obvious, struggling just to focus on staying conscious here through the allergies. So please know that if you sub, we appreciate it. And I'm sorry if we miss you when you do. But we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching, guys.